I'm not a Canelo fanboy, right? I'm not one of these guys that are gonna blow smoke up Canelo's ass or is going to just tell you a whole load of stories that are not true, are not realistic. But what I am gonna do is call a spade a spade. One of the most disrespectful comments I've heard about Canelo is that he's scared to fight someone. This guy's been fighting for, I don't know, 17, 18. And he's fighting the best fighters in the world. He got in the ring and fought with Floyd Mayweather. Right? He got in the ring and fought with Miguel Cotto. He got in the ring and fought with Shane Mosley. You know, name after name after name after name after name. Canelo has fought the who's who in boxing. Right? Oh, he's not fighting Benavidez. I'm like, so he's scared of Benavidez. The one fight I find is highly disrespectful is the Crawford fight. Now, everybody, boxing media, I swear they're blind. They're blind, deaf and dumb, the majority of them. Because if you saw the way Crawford fought against his last opponent, did you look at that? That guy fought at light middleweight, yeah? And I wouldn't say Crawford looked his best at that fight. He was getting hit repeatedly with right hands. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I just call a spade for what it is. Yeah, Crawford's looked great at, you know, lightweight, light middleweight, lightweight, welterweight. He's looked great there. He looked great against Spence. His last performance looked okay. Wouldn't say he looked brilliant. He looked like Spence, like Crawford fights. Great, but that did not make me think, well, he beat this dude, he can go and beat Canelo. A Canelo who can fight at light heavyweight and could possibly step up to cruiserweight, right? And he probably comes into ring weighing as a cruiserweight when he's fighting a super middle. And you want that dude who's had time to allow his body to fill out, to fill his body out properly, fight from light middleweight up to middleweight. I think it's welterweight at one point, up to middleweight, up to super middleweight, up to light heavyweight. And he took his time, didn't rush, he didn't jump 2 weight divisions. He filled out through the divisions, won his belts, middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight. He won his belt and he took his time moving. Whoop. Crawford's what, 35, 36 now? You're asking a man he's just stepped up to light middleweight, to jump from light middleweight to super middleweight, a light heavyweight to fight Canelo. Are you crazy? You're crazy. But I told you Bivol was too much. I told you he can never beat Bivol. I've always said Bivol's the best light heavyweight in the world. This fight against Turbiev or Beterbiev is the fight to show that he is. But I've always believed that. I think he's got great. His power is underrated. His boxing, no. I think after Beterbiev has been very fortunate so far. He's not been against a pure boxer with punching power. But Bivol's got footwork, long arms, and punching power, and he should be able to neutralize that. But anyway, I don't want to even talk about that. I want to talk about Canelo, the disrespect of Canelo. A guy who's fought. If you just go and look at Canelo's resume and the guys he's fought, and look at that resume of fighters, right? How the hell is that guy scared of Crawford or Benavidez? No. And experience, you can't buy experience. You can't just get in the gym and get experience. This guy is ultra experienced, and he will continue to beat the likes of Belanga and those guys. He'll continue to beat them guys and take money. Taking money off the baby, he really is, because he's got like 16 years old. So if you look at the fighters he's fought, a lot of the guys he's fought will go on to be Hall of Fame fighters. I don't know how many fighters Benavidez has fought that are going to be Hall of Fame fighters. I don't know how many Hall of Fame fighters Crawford has fought how many fighters he's fought, because I don't know how many fighters Crawford has fought to be Hall of Fame. But I know Canelo's fought a hell of a lot of Hall of Fame fighters, yeah, or future Hall of Fame fighters. So I don't see how the man can be scared. So that's the first bit of disrespect. The second bit of disrespect is you think that Crawford can move up those weight divisions and beat. It's not happening. Here's this. Canelo looks great and will continue to look great against guys who've got slow feet, are plodders, and don't have high output of punches. The Benavidez fight, Benavidez throws lots of punches and will force Canelo to fight when he doesn't want to fight. He'll fight for 3 minutes, he's got fast hands, but he'll stand there and he'll be there for body shots. He'll be there to be hit. Benavidez's chin is okay, but he has been dropped by a guy that I've never heard of. He got dropped. And Benavidez himself, he can be caught on a counter. Earlier on, I never believed Benavidez could beat Canelo. If he's going to beat Canelo now, it's because he outworks him, his hand speed. He's got 4 or 5 punch combinations. But that will only happen if Benavidez could do that against less experienced fighters. Now, if Canelo is able to shut that hand speed down, get to Benavidez's body, slow him down, break him down, and systematically take him out. If he can do that, then great. The problem that Canelo is going to have is that if he cannot stop the Benavidez 4 or 5 punch combinations, if he cannot stop that output of punches, and that's going 6, 7, and when Canelo wants to take a break, Benavidez is still throwing them punches. So high output punches will give Canelo problems. But because he's a high volume puncher, Benavidez, he also is vulnerable to getting caught on counters. When you're throwing 4 or 5 punches, you're vulnerable to get caught over the top or through middle, uppercuts and left hooks on right hands in between. So Benavidez has fought nobody with a sort of experience and know-how as Canelo, and he's not going to fight anybody like Canelo. So the experience will be key there, where Canelo will be able to shut that down, back him up, and know when to throw shots at the right time. Where those guys before just kind of tuck up and let Benavidez fall 5 punches on them. And so Benavidez looks good against the guys he's fighting, but is he good enough against Canelo? That's the question. Crawford's another one. Crawford's good against who he's fought against. The last dude he fought hasn't got the experience of as a Canelo. And he hasn't got the know-how of a Canelo. So the stuff he'll get away with against guys that he might have that physical advantage over, he ain't going to have the physical advantage. He says, oh no, me and Canelo are around the same size. Bullshit. No, mate. Yeah, it's not the case. I don't care what weight you walk around at. Canelo's been at these weights a lot longer than you. He is acclimatized to super middleweight. He's acclimatized to light heavyweight. His body's probably he's boxing at middleweight, but he's probably fighting at light heavyweight. The weight he's coming in when he fights on fight night. So, I tell you another guy who does that, Hamza Shiraz. He probably is a light heavyweight or cruiserweight when he fights. Yeah, he's probably a middleweight, but when he fights, he's probably weighing like a cruiserweight. Think about that. So I'm thinking to myself, when I look at Canelo, the disrespect, and these guys like, I don't know how Crawford would do against a Miguel Cotto, how Crawford would have done against a Floyd Mayweather, how Crawford would have done against a Sugar Shane Mosley, how Crawford would have responded to get hit like Floyd got hit. So, they're fighters that Canelo's fought along the way. Charlo recently fought Charlo, beat Charlo. Now he's fought Berlanga. Could Crawford beat Berlanga? Well, it's questions to ask. Because, I don't think that Crawford could beat Gennady Golovkin. That's just putting it out there. I just don't think he beats Golovkin. I think when he gets hit by Golovkin, he stays hit. Just for a second, that guy who was fighting the other night, he landed him with 4 or 5 right hands, and Crawford ate that up. Could you imagine if that was Gennady Golovkin hitting him? So I just think, and this is a guy who's fought Gennady Golovkin 3 times. 3 times. The disrespect for Canelo is unreal. Unreal. And it's not like to say, oh, yeah, you should fight top opposition. Name me 5 fighters with a resume like Canelo. Because if that's the norm, if Canelo's record is the norm, then why is Canelo the face of boxing? No, because he's Mexican, he's white. No. Look at the man's resume. And then how many more fighters are comparable? You can't even put Tank in that category, because Tank ain't fought them type of guys. For Tank would have to have fought. I mean, he's fought some good fighters. Don't get me wrong, I like Tank, but no. Inoue again. How many? I don't know Inoue, but how many of those guys are going to be Hall of Fame fighters? He's got to do a hell of a lot more. But he's on his way. Who else? Usyk maybe? Usyk close, because the guys he fought to become undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, and then to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He fought some bad guys. He's fought some real bad men to become champion. So Usyk would be up there. You know, obviously Crawford and Canelo's fought a little longer, but that's a resume up there. But the disrespect for Canelo is ridiculous. So I just think he, you know, if he doesn't want to fight Benavidez, then he's entitled to say he don't want to fight Benavidez, because he's shown over and over and over again consistency, never coming in overweight, never coming in with a pot belly. You know, the model pro. The only thing I would say about Canelo is that thing about the whole beef thing, that saga and the PEDs. That's the only thing around him. But like in the ring fighting the guys he's fought, Kovalev as well. My God, a guy that starched Anthony Yard, he's gone and starched. It's like some of the commentators, like Tim Bradley, showing disrespect, literally hurting their own bank accounts. Bradley's cool, he's a good fighter, but yeah, you know, Bradley was on that Pacquiao thing. Remember, anything Pacquiao did was amazing. So what we got here. He started fighting pro at 8'16", and he has a laundry list of all-time great fighters he's battled. Yes, how can you call a man scared? Or how can you use the words scared and ducking? 2 words I think are highly disrespectful about Crawford. How can you call him ducking? He fought Cotto, Mosley, Mayweather, Kovalev, Golovkin 3 times. How can you go, man, ducking? Ducking. All right, man, get out of here, man. Get out of here. TBC at 140 pounds had done amazing work at welterweight. He's done well, but 140 phase is greater. His 140 phase was greater than 147 pound period. Yep, that's it. So I'm not sure where we're going with Crawford, mate. I'm not sure. If Crawford goes and fights Canelo, they get absolutely hammered. Absolutely hammered. Because if I said this before, if Crawford was going to have a chance against Canelo, I would like to see him at light heavyweight handle his business. He would have to stop that dude, or give that dude a beating of his life, and he didn't do that. He barely got past that dude, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not being disrespectful to Crawford. I love Crawford. Yeah, I'm a pilot, mate. I'm a pilot of my show. But both Cotto, Mosley, Mayweather, GGG, Kovalev, Bivol, he's had some real bum burners. Absolutely. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm the pilot, and I'm just about to kick you off the ship. See you later. You trying to be funny, mate? Okay. Right. So there we go. I think it's time to go, but Canelo is he'll go down as an all-time great as far as I'm concerned. Resume alone is Canelo. Kirtland had us on the edge of our seats. I think Kirtland would have been better if Ann Wolf had been with him, but I don't know if he would have won. Yeah. In the Kirkland fight as well. Kirkland was a bad man. He was knocking guys out. Danny Jacobs as well. Remember the Danny Jacobs fight? So many guys that Canelo's fought. So many guys they fought, and I still think he got beat by Lara. Beat by Lara. But yeah, still the disrespect. And that's what we've got in boxing, sadly, today. A lot of disrespectful, ungrateful boxing writers. If he beats Canelo, if Canelo beats Crawford and he beats Benavidez, what are they going to say next? Oh, they'll bring someone else. So there'll always be somebody who can't beat. Oh, maybe. Do you remember the stories? The only thing I found was quite funny was when they were talking about Canelo going and moving at heavyweight. Well, I think Bivol put an end to that. Thank goodness. They're saying, oh, Canelo can beat Usyk. Yeah, well, not happening. Canelo's good. He's all time, but he's not a Roy Jones in that sense of go up to heavyweight and fight. Can you imagine Canelo going to fight somebody like Andy Ruiz? Or like how James Toney moved up and he fought Samuel Peter? Could you imagine that dude, Canelo, trying to do that? So Canelo's good for what he does, you know, and that's why you got to give people like James Toney, Michael Moorer, who fought a light heavyweight, moved up to heavyweight, became heavyweight champion of the world. Evander Holyfield moved from, like, I think it was cruiserweight or light heavyweight up to heavyweight. Usyk, remember Usyk got beat by Sean Porter. And he moved from there right into becoming an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So think about that. So amazing. Who else? Thomas Hearns, cruiserweight champion of the world, moved from, I think, started at welterweight or light welterweight. Hearns from there went right up to cruiserweight champion of the world. I mean, those some serious dudes there, man. Serious dudes. You know, so anyway, my thoughts. The disrespect of Canelo's got to stop, but the more they disrespect Canelo and they keep disrespecting the face of boxing, you know, on his resume, then if you're disrespecting Canelo, then who is that? The fact that Porter was able to boil himself down to 147 in amateurs, he was sometimes fighting 175, 168, sheesh, yeah. Shout out to Sean Porter. I've got to get that interview I did with Sean Porter's family, Kenny Porter. Good interview. I'm going to pull that up at some point in time. So yeah, and I've got to pull up my Bivol interview. Yeah, and I get my Bivol interview up. I'll have to get that done up this week as well. All right, guys, thank you so much. What do you think about Canelo? Do you think he's been disrespected? And if we're disrespecting Canelo and calling him a coward and chicken, and he's the face of boxing, what does it say about the rest of our fighters? That's why I love the UFC, because they always defend their own. They defend their own, and even if a guy's gets knocked out, he's always got a chance to come back to be champion. But here, when a guy gets knocked out at the end of his career, he needs to retire. Yeah, boxing doesn't do itself favors at times, right? And I think that boxing needs to streamline its media, and have people who know what they're talking about in boxing. And these dudes that flip-flop need to be out of boxing, because it does our sport no favors. Check the facts, check the records. I can say this man is scared of Benavidez, or he's scared of Crawford, or he don't want to fight Crawford. There may be reasons he don't want to fight Crawford. It might have nothing to do with the fact. It might have something to do just contractual. Well, if you beat Terence Crawford, then you're with us for the next 2 years. If you beat Benavidez, then you're locked into a contract, which is, you just don't know. You don't know with these guys. You don't know. You don't understand. And you know, when you're at the peak of your career and you've proven yourself to be the best, and you fought time and time again, and you are numero uno, and you've got your own promotion, you've got your own, you know, you want to be treated value, and you're going to get devalued by fighting these guys, and you're not going to get paid to fight properly. So you get paid to fight, but you won't get paid the way, or there'll be some contract that says, well, if you beat them, then you've got to sign up for the next 2 years of your life. And Canelo may think, you know what, I'll fight them, no problems, but you're going to do it on my terms. You're not going to dictate to me. I'm the boss in boxing, not you. You may have money, but I've got the prestige, I've got the experience, and I've done it. You may have money. I'm the face of boxing. So I get it. I understand. You're the boss. you know, have somebody who's going to come who's got money, flash money, and say, yeah, I'm the boss too. You know, you're the boss in your world, he's the boss in his world. That's my 2 pence on it. Anyway, if Canelo retired tomorrow, does that make him a chicken? And what are you hoping to achieve by getting Crawford after what he's fought, how he's fought his 154 debut? You just saw Charlo, who was a 154, try and move up to fight Canelo. You saw what happened to Charlo. We ain't seen Charlo since. Right. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm out. Take care.